We're back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kendrin.
Hey, hey, it is Deja.
And we are here to finalize or finish up our series on life design for now. Because I feel like this has brought up some interesting things across the board. If you watched the last episode, you know what I'm talking about. Like we went somewhere where I wasn't anticipating going, but it was an interesting conversation. So, anyways, if you haven't watched part 4, you should. But this is part 5, and we're talking about choosing well. So, part of this whole life design philosophy is it's really just how to get you unstuck and get you into a life that you're really going to enjoy. So, part of the process, step 3, was really like ideating and trying to think of how you would like your life to look. Step 4 is like prototyping, asking around, talking to people, trying some things out. And step 5 is really to make a decision. And honestly, I didn't say this in the last episode. I should have. It just came back to me. But basically, part of the ideating process and part of what people end up choosing in this scenario is that they realize that their dream life maybe isn't what they want to do, but it's something that they dropped in the past that they want to pick back up in some capacity. So it's not necessarily like you have to 100% go do your dream thing. It could be like your dream thing could be to open, I don't know, a craft shop or something. And it's like, okay, maybe I don't want to open a craft shop. Maybe that would take the joy out of it, but maybe I do want to have a craft room or I want to craft more, for people who are, crafters or whatever. I was just using that as an example.
I'm
Um,
wearing handmade jewelry, so shout out
right.
to Riley Tie for those.
Exactly. So, like,
Yeah,
maybe you don't want to have a jewelry making business. You just
right.
want to make a few earrings and sell at the farmer's market or something
Right.
like that.
That's kind of what she does.
Right. But you're not trying to scale this to like, you know, $100 million or something. You just want to make your little jewelry, get your little joy,
Mm-hmm.
have a little time at the
Creative
farmer's market,
outlet.
and go on about your day.
Yeah.
And so he basically said that that's usually what people do. It's not like they change their whole lives. And the people who do like change their whole lives usually don't succeed or they find that they're unhappy with what they're doing. So, with that being said, choosing well. Part of choosing well, basically the TED Talk mentioned is making a decision and moving on. And this is where I tend to
Hmm.
struggle
Hmm.
because
Okay. I
I
like this.
think I have a lot of good ideas and I will try to juggle everything until I have just burned myself out completely. And I think for me, part of the choosing well in this next phase of life is going to be dropping some things. And that makes me uncomfortable.
Okay. I'm glad
Or
you're
maybe
going
not
here.
dropping them, but sidelining them or making it so that maybe they can run on their own or um maybe I can hire someone to do it, but at the end of the day, I cannot do all things.
Right. I like this because this is the part where I think that I am now as it relates to um getting to the life that it is that I want to lead.
Mm-hmm.
Um and to your point of like recognizing that you have to like let some things go or kind of drop some things, I think
Yeah,
that's so key, and that is so hard, right? Like
it's so
because
hard.
you are now at a place, or we are now at a place where we're reconciling with the things that once existed for us and how the existence of those things, be it relationships, businesses, things, right,
Mm-hmm.
can't go with you.
Yeah.
It's not going to fit into the prototyped life design that you are headed towards.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it's like, well, what do I do? Like, for me personally, it's been a lot of a lot of change, a lot of relationship
Yeah.
shit, but also a lot of change in recognizing that the ways in which I've been in relationship with people, um, it can no longer be that way, and no longer be that way because I am different
Mm-hmm.
and we are not vibrating at the same level, right?
Definitely.
Um, I recognize this in a lot of things, like even like the relationship with your jobs, you know, the places that you work. There might come a point where you realize that you and the work environment are vibrating at different levels, and it's time for you to
Absolutely.
move on.
Absolutely.
Um, and then the most recent ideating I have done, because I've made a choice. And so I have been ideating around the choice that I've made. And it's like, you know, well, what if the choice that you made asks you to quit? And then I'm in a position to be um not bringing in an income of my own.
Right.
That is daunting to me.
It's
it's
very
also
scary.
scary.
It's very scary.
Because I have been raised to be self-sufficient and independent.
Mm-hmm.
So to be um put in a position where that's not the case. Like we joke all the time on this channel about being kept women and so on and so forth. But like for that shit to really come to pass, I feel like the initial changes of it would be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
So not to say that that's what's happening in my life at this moment. I'm not saying that, but I'm just like ideating around different prototypes
Yeah.
from episode 4.
So yeah. Uh I think part of the thing where I get stuck with making a decision is like I think every okay, mine is usually around ideas. It's not usually around people, it's mostly around ideas. So I always think that the next thing is the best thing, and it always feels like the best thing, and it's like I can probably make more money at that thing if it works out, but you still have to do the initial time investment. So like nothing changes that, and you, the person whose idea it is the one that has to do. There's no what do you call it, there's no, outsourcing that. You're the person. So
Right.
it's a question of what do I drop or what do I put to the side. I
Right.
feel
Or
that
do
I
I really
and
want to do X, Y,
yes,
and Z? Yeah.
and also another part of that is, and what the TED Talk says, I forget what the guy's name is, but the TED Talk was saying basically you have to make a decision and move on, but also knowing that this process of life design is available to you again. You don't have, this isn't a one and done. If that
Absolutely.
decision that you made doesn't suit you or doesn't feel right, you just do it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Or you may go back to something you ideated before, prototype that part of your life, and make a
See where it
decision
takes
about
you.
that. But the
Yeah.
thing is, you have to make a decision. So he gives like this whole entire thing. You guys should listen to the TED Talk. I'll put it in the description box on all of these videos so you can listen to it. But basically, like if you don't make a decision and you leave yourself an open door, you're always going to feel like you left the best thing behind, essentially.
Hmm.
If you don't make a final decision
Mm-hmm.
and move on from all of the other stuff,
Okay.
you're always going to feel like the best thing, you left it behind. If you always leave yourself that out, you're always going to be curious about what was going on back there or what could have happened back there. That's why you have to make a decision and you have to move on. He gives a really like a good example in like a psychological study about that.
Okay.
That I can't remember. Like I can't remember the bits and pieces, but a bit the essentially it was like you offered someone a painting and you told them that they could come back and choose something else next week if they didn't like what they had. And the people who always had the option to choose something else came back and they always chose something else. They always didn't like what they had. But the people they told, okay, you get to choose this painting and that's all you get, they always left. And even if they came back to the space and looked at the other painting, they still thought that the one that they chose was the best. Okay. So it's like you're always going to wonder what was going on or what would have happened if you chose something else. So I think the idea is to make the decision and to move on to execute that thing versus keeping your mind in the past. You're confused and perplexed again.
No, I'm processing what you're saying. Like, yeah. I guess what may have had me stuck was this idea that you should not have an open door. Or that's what I received, right? Excuse me.
Well, you shouldn't give yourself the option. You shouldn't give yourself the out, is the point.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So basically, it's like for someone like me who's very much into calling in and manifesting the things that it is that they want, you make a decision on the thing, and then you let it go.
Right, and you manifest that thing. You don't go back and think, or you call in that thing. You focus on that thing. You don't go back or leave the door open of like, okay, well, if I don't get that thing in 20 days, 30 days or whatever, then I'm going to go back and think back on like, oh my God, maybe I'm calling in the wrong thing. Like,
this is so hard.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's hard. It is hard. But I'm saying like, that's the point, is that you do the hard thing. And if you decide at a certain point, like, okay, I have done this, I have tried this, I've done it to the best of my ability, I have called the thing in, I do not like this thing now.
Girl, we have done that.
Or I have made this decision, I do not like this decision anymore.
This was a mistake.
I worked really hard at this and I don't like this anymore. The step is not to say, oh my God, I should have did something else. The step is to go back and re-prototype and to rethink the whole entire life design process again.
I love this. Come on.
It's not like you don't ever get another option. You do get another option, but the idea is that you put your energy toward the thing that you chose that you thought was going to be the thing. And if it's not the thing, you don't go back with regret. You don't go back with regret. You don't go into the regrets and beating yourself up. You just say, that thing, okay, that wasn't that girl. So I'm
this is so wild to me that this is so on time in the sense of like, I have been in this state of encouragement as it relates to this particular idea, right? So like, I've been talking to other people, like not necessarily clients per se, but like just talking to people in general, just out and about in the public about, you know, whatever the fuck they got going on. And they have been, but like, well, what if this? And well, what if that? And X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, hold on. You know, we gonna give you a little esoteric. I'll be like, listen, spirit is saying for you to go in the direction of the things that it is that you want. Don't worry about the other shit. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about the past. Go in the direction of what it is that you want. That is your choice. Make the choice. Stop worrying about all the other things, because that constant pendulum swinging, going back and forth, is prolonging the process of the greatness of whatever it is that you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing that I've learned. Okay, I'm trying not to go like too deep or go too crazy with this.
That's what we do here.
I know, but here's like the thing that I've learned.
Brand.
Okay, so even if that thing doesn't work out, it still may be needed.
Yeah, because you need the lesson and the experience to say, hey, I thought of this thing that I wanted, and then I went after it with either physical intention or just spiritual intention, like you prayed about it and you saw it come to fruition, that does something more for you than the thing not working out. The lesson in that was, oh, I can have whatever it is that I decided that I wanted.
Right. And so for me, even it's about, and I think this goes back even to like number 2 in this process of reframing things as not as failures, because I have been really hard on myself in terms of thinking like, oh, I failed at all of these things. And it's like, well, maybe not. Like maybe you just decided that wasn't the thing and you started back over. And
Hello.
you just keep starting over until you figure out the thing that sticks.
And even more, I would say, this is something that I have conversations with clients about quite often, about them talking about being afraid of failure. And I'm like, girl, cut the shenanigans. Failing at something only teaches you that whatever it was, the way you were going about it wasn't quite right.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't mean that you did something wrong or whatever the case may be. No, you had to go in the direction of the thing that you wanted to get the lesson. The lesson is, okay, so I need to tweak X, Y, and Z.
Exactly.
Or maybe this ain't actually what the fuck I want. I thought I wanted this, but this ain't
both
it.
of those lessons.
Yeah.
Like, maybe this isn't what I want, but also maybe we could just tweak it a little bit. I always love when Mike Leake says failure is proof that you're trying. I love that.
Because it is.
But yeah, I think for me, it's just the moving on part. I tend to.
Me too. Still be worrying about it. Still be looking up for the thing.
I work on this in therapy quite a bit, but I tend to do a lot of, the negative self-talk and the just beating myself up and, just not being kind to myself about things that I've done in the past that may or may not have been the right thing, quote unquote. And it's like, well, maybe it just wasn't. It's not about it being right or wrong. Maybe it just wasn't the right thing at that moment, or maybe it taught you what you do desire. That's something that I've learned a lot in the last couple of years. It's like maybe that thing is just to teach you, okay, no, you had it right. You had it right. You knew what you desired and you went after it, and now you're taking a step back and you realize like, oh no. That was actually the thing. Like sometimes you need to miss the thing to be like, oh God, oh wait, no, that was the thing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think the moving on part is tough for me, but it is something that I think we all need to learn how to do.
Child, okay, let me tell you, she is not good at that.
No,
I can tell you, I can give you the best advice, okay? But when it comes to me, I am that meme of Jesus and the little girl with the bear, where Jesus is like, give me the little bear so I can give you the big bear. And I'm like,
I'm going to actually take my little bear. Thank you so much, Jesus. That one is way too large.
Like, you're the greatest, Jesus. I love you. Well, I'm gonna hold on to this. This little blessing I'm gonna keep, as opposed to the big blessing that I don't know that's coming.
For sure. So,
but I think that is human nature. A lot of people do that.
I think it's human nature, definitely. I think that we, regret. All of those things are human nature. So it's just a matter of recalibrating your thoughts and kind of tweaking your mind so that you don't automatically go there. That as opposed to beating yourself up, you go to, okay, that didn't work out, so let's start over. And
hello,
that's okay. Like that's the thing.
Like at the start of this month, or maybe the end of last month, I had a ripple in my ocean. If you watched the last episode, I talked about the ripples in the ocean. And so I had a ripple in my ocean, and I was just like, my homeostasis was a little thrown off. She was a little irritated. She was, F these people. Because it can be very much that sometimes. Absolutely. But as opposed to me just leaving it at the F these people, I proceeded to spin around and around and around in my mind the things in which I could have done or said, and vice versa, as opposed to just letting it go, because that spinning was bringing down my like homeostasis. My homeostasis is like good energy. I'm laughing, I'm having a good time. My home frequency, if you're a Mariam Hasnea follower, then she talks about home frequency a lot. Haz is what they call her, but like she talks about this like home frequency, which is you gotta figure out what your home frequency is. For me, it's just being at chill. I'm peaceful, I'm laughing, I'm joking, I'm making other people laugh. But when I am spinning things around in my mind, I am bringing down my own energy, and then the things that I'm trying to work towards, like the thing that I decided I wanted, you slow the process down because your inertia is focused on all the negative shit and not on the things that you actually want.
Yeah.
So you continue to manifest or call in the things that you hate about whatever the thing is that put the ripple in your ocean, right?
Absolutely.
And so for me, I had a messenger that day, random. He's someone that pops in every now and again to the location where I work. And he said something to me where I knew that it was God speaking through him. And he said, you ever just have one of those days where you're like riding in the car and a song comes on that you absolutely hate, and like you just listen to the song, but like you're like, damn, I hate the song. Like, why is this on the radio? And you're just complaining. You're in the hamster wheel of negativity, right? And so he was like, you know what? The easiest thing would be to just change the channel because, like, duh, like that's easy. Just flip station, put something else on that you actually enjoy. And when he said that, no shit you not, y'all, I was in here like, okay, God, I see you. Right. I'm tripping. Let me get back to my homeostasis. But the thing is, you got to be at a level of practicing your homeostasis for you to receive nuggets like that and understand it. Because the Dehjai of 4 years ago would have been like, the fuck is this man talking about? I'm irritated already. I want to talk to you. Why are you over here talking to me? He literally broke into my thoughts enough for me to pay attention to whatever the message was he was giving. So
yeah, I think we're saying the same thing in two different languages, and I think this is a good way to end it. To say, you know, sometimes it's just making a new decision. It's not going back to beat yourself up about old decisions. Like this whole entire life design process is about being in motion, being in action, and making new decisions.
And being okay with the decision, period.
Yeah, period. This is it. However it turns out, be okay with it. And then if it doesn't work out how you had intended, you just make a new decision.
Yep.
So I think that's it.
For now, at least. We might have more things to add on. I think we're
going to keep this conversation going because it's very interesting and it's brought up a lot of interesting things. And maybe in the future, I will be more candid about why this has been such a intentional thing for me.
Y'all get down in the comments and be like, Cameron, we look forward to it. But no, thank you guys for listening and joining us. Of course, if you are on this journey to redesign your life, drop down in the comments and let us know where you are, what stage you're in, what you're experiencing. And also, if there's anything that you think you might need help with, if there's anything that we can help you with, let us know that too. Follow us on all of our social media. Check out blackandcurious.com, and we will see you guys next time.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.
Yes, I always forget that. Ciao. A mess. Bye, y'all.